I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible.
So, to the topic at hand. Part of this New World Order is a major scare tactic campaign that's going on right now. Okay, we got this mosquito thing, this triple E, that's killing people in my home state. Okay, and along the East Coast. People are dying within hours of being bitten by a bug, by a mosquito. Now, the fact is, mosquitoes have carried diseases for eons, man. Malaria was huge during the Vietnam War. So, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's been a while since I've really looked into this part of it. It was a couple of years ago that I did an investigation on mosquitoes carrying H1N1 or swine flu, mad cow disease, that sort of thing. But I believe that mosquitoes were carrying that because they found a deer that had triple E in it here in Michigan, right in my hometown of Flint, on the outskirts, out in the countryside. Okay? Well, if a deer's got triple E, he obviously was bitten by a mosquito. So that means if a mosquito bit that deer that had triple E, then the mosquito got it and bit somebody, and then somebody died from it. So obviously swine flu and H1N1 can be spread the same way, mad cow disease, that sort of thing. Okay? Mosquitoes carry a lot of viruses. Okay? But who's to say, going out on a New World Order limb here, who's to say that it's not one big bullshit story? Oh, why would they do that? Well, what's the first thing they said on the news this morning? Every local channel was playing it. They want us to stay indoors. That's control. That's control. They want us to stay indoors till the first frost, till the mosquitoes die off of winter. They want us to stay indoors. So that's what I heard all over local news this morning. 6:30 in the morning, I'm going through every channel. CBS, NBC, Fox, ABC. I'm going through all of them. And every one of them is talking about the EEE mosquito virus. And it's, they want us to stay indoors. They want us to stay indoors. They want us to stay indoors. Watch your children. Stay indoors, stay indoors, stay indoors. They don't want you going outside. They want you controlled. They want you to be a wage slave in a financial prison and only leave to go to work, get your groceries, and go home. Period. That's all they want you to do. They come right out and say, cancel your plans. I wasn't quick enough with my video camera. I had my phone sitting there. I flipped it up to record that, to show it to you, to show you evidence. But you're going to have to take my word on that. And I'm a pretty honest guy when it comes to this stuff. So you guys know that. But yeah. Stay indoors. Don't leave. Change your plans. Make changes to your plans. Instead of having a barbecue outside with your family, have a dinner indoors. That's exactly what they said. It's control. More and more control. So is it true the mosquitoes are killing people? We don't know. But we do know that we've seen some very extremely wicked shit with this New World Order crap and all this beast system shit that's going on, that people can't accept the fact that people are literally being killed. For example, Yemen. 75,000 women and children have been slaughtered by Saudi Arabia and the weapons that were sold by our president to them. Let me touch on that for a minute, because I have some information that was open to the public, but nobody was looking at it. About a month ago, I had reported that I found some some reports overseas, different websites, stating that Saudi Arabia and I can't believe it was the UK or Britain or somebody else in another country in the US, were working with Saudi Arabia to build an oil port in Yemen to stay away from all the crap in Iran and all the stuff going on in the Straits of Hormuz, and trying to have a direct contact to the US and a direct line to the UK. So the ships are in safe zone. Okay? So they want to do that in Yemen. But when you flip that coin, mass genocide in Yemen. Why do you think they would rather kill these people off than ask them to leave? Because they end up having to kill them off anyways. They're not leaving. No matter how poor they are, they're not leaving the country. They're not getting out of the way so these countries can come in and build an oil port. Not happening. So when I look at the destruction and the death toll of women and children, and a lot of men too, and in the crisis in Yemen, and I think, okay, 2 + 2 = 4, not 5. So we have mass genocide going on in Yemen. We have Saudi Arabia, the United States, and the UK wanting to put a oil port in Yemen. And then I turn on CBSN this morning, and there's a podcaster giving a report. They're listening to him on the mainstream media, and he says the puppet masters, this is live TV right on mainstream media, the puppet masters, which we know who the puppet masters are, we talk about it all the time, and we've investigated these puppet masters. Okay? The puppet masters, his exact words, the puppet masters are strategically moving things into place to get the United States and Iran to the negotiating table. So what they're doing is providing, the puppet masters are providing weapons to the Houthi rebels in Yemen, retaliating against Saudi Arabia and its destruction of Yemen, and blaming Iran. The New World Order is about global control, and they will do anything and everything to get what they want. I suggest, I'm going to repeat myself again, go back and read Agenda 2030, or find some videos on YouTube that are not asking for money, just kind of describing what it is and how it says one thing and means another. You know, the microchip implanting they want to do with babies by 2022. It's all control. Now, here's another thing I see going on. This morning, on every single news channel, there's a mass campaign going around the nation, the United States, about all these little school children are being put through these mass shooter drills. Somebody asked me the other day, say something positive about your home state, and I said I have several times. One thing I can say positive about my home state is we had one situation where a guy brought a gun into Central Michigan College, and that shit was on lockdown and taken care of within just a couple hours. Not all schools, but most. At least all the ones I've been to, the ones my kids been to, the ones my cousin's kids been to, the ones my friends' kids, they all have locked doors during school hours, metal detectors in every doorway, at least 2 guards on duty, or 1 most of the time. And if a shooter gets through the door, or somebody sneaks a gun into school, the metal detector goes off. If an active shooter happens to break through the bulletproof glass in the door, and they happen to get in, the metal detectors go off, send a signal to the state police, the township police, the city police, the FBI, and SWAT. And then if they don't show up in time to stop that shooter, the 2 guards in the hallway have guns, and they have a license to shoot him. So that's one thing I can say good about my home state, is that probably would never happen here. And if it does, I would swear to God it was a setup. to prove people like me wrong, because it can happen everywhere. Not if somebody shoots the son of a bitch before he comes to the door with a sub-automatic machine gun. You pop a cap in his ass coming through the door, there isn't no setup. There isn't no mass shooting. Shoot him! Whatever you got to do. But they're putting these little tiny children, excuse me, they're putting these little tiny children, in the one I saw, and because of all the problems that investigative journalists are having, I'm going to do a little play on words. The Handy Sook mass shooting, there was a commercial they are doing to make awareness to all the schools. They showed all these little kids, these little 5th graders, 6th graders walking around, all happy, talking about all the school supplies they're buying and how wonderful it is to go, get back into school and, go be lied to in your indoctrination camp about your history. Anyways, they show all these school supplies, skateboards and trapper keepers. That's the 80s thing. These folders and, all this different stuff. And then about 30 seconds into the commercial, it shows them using their supplies as self-defense weapons and using skateboards and bust windows out, and everybody's jumping out the windows. And these kids are being taught to be afraid all the time, and that's what pisses me off a lot. This is what the New World Order is. It's control population with fear, because Generation X is already hip to the bullshit. It's Generation Z, our grandkids that have no future. I don't care what you think or what you want to believe. There is no future for these kids. Not much. Not much. A utopian, genocidal type history. I mean, think about it. They're already talking about all these people losing their jobs from AI and robotics. So you get a classroom of 30 kids, half of them might have a career in robotics. The rest, screwed. So they're scaring the next generation. They're scaring them into control. That's how you control society, is you make them afraid of everything. Don't go outside, you get stung by a mosquito and die. Be very afraid to come to school. You better be attentive because somebody might come in and shoot the place up. That's one good thing I can say about my home state, is that doesn't happen in our schools. Nobody's afraid to go to school except for being beat up or some shit like that. But there are other things happening. I spoke here on, let me see here. Let me show you. I talked right here about the beast. The beast is coming. The beast is coming. And that is about the First Amendment rights being taken away. Yes, that proved 100% that 80% or more of the First Amendment has been eradicated. Because 80% of the stuff that we were billed to be able to do freely has now been taken away. Go read it for yourself. Read the First Amendment and then go back and watch my video showing different things in the First Amendment that have had executive orders signed by our SCOTUS in chief, that I know it's POTUS, I say SCOTUS. Anyway, I show definitively that those things have been eradicated. And we already know there's a big campaign against freedom of speech because people are complaining about it on social media. Around the clock, millions of people are saying, oh, freedom of speech, I got shut down. Oh, my stuff got deleted. Oh, I can't say this. I just got arrested. Oh, I can't say that. That's because it's been eradicated. Just like freedom to exercise. Exercise your religious beliefs by saying, I don't want my child vaccinated because it goes against my religious beliefs. Well, too bad. Well, what about my First Amendment? What First Amendment? That's gone. You don't get to decide whether your child gets vaccinated or not. We do. Good or bad? Don't know. Population control? Maybe. Look at the Georgia Guidestones. Keep population under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Does that mean the whole world? I believe it means just the United States, because we're at 300 and something million. And if we keep letting in these immigrants, we'll be at capacity. Then what are you going to do? The government can't afford to put all these people on the $1,000 a month subsidy. Can they? No. No, we can't afford that. And what are you going to do when half the nation is out of work because of AI and robotics? They're talking about this universal income for all, $1,000 a month. Who can live off $1,000 a month? Not unless you do what I do and buy an RV and plan on going out on the road full time. Then you can live on $1,000 a month. But you can't live on $1,000 a month when you're paying $850 a month in rent. Not going to happen. So what are they going to do with all these immigrants? What are they going to do with all these people coming in from other countries when they can't get jobs? What are you going to do? Population control.